Alright, here is my pretty cool, very simple FNAF timeline. So, what's the first thing that happens? Charlie dies. Then FNAF 4 happens. The crying child dreams the main gameplay segments of FNAFs 1 through 4, then dies. That's it. Nothing else happens. After this comes FNAF World, when the puppet's still, LARPing as that Fredbear plush, tells him what to do and helps him out. Okay, so sometime after the Bite of 83, the first missing children incident happens, and that Freddy location closes. The main 5 from the first game all get possessed here. After this, the location of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is opened. Then, the second missing children's incident happens. The restaurant is still open for a little bit until the Bite of 87, which gets it closed. At this point is when I'm going to say that the gameplay in FNAF 2 happens, because, well, FNAF 2 isn't really a good game. It's stressful and you have to manage a bunch of things, but like when you consider like how it looks and all the contradictions and the phone calls and anyways, the location from Five Nights at Freddy's 2 closes, and the toy animatronics are scrapped, but not really. Afton uses their parts to make the Funtime animatronics. Elizabeth dies. Alright, so the location from the first Five Nights at Freddy's game is about to open, but something goes wrong. Afton gets in there and, well, he gets spring-trapped. Isn't the FNAF 3 minigame supposed to happen after the closing of FNAF 1 location? Well, yeah, but no. You see, in the FNAF 3 minigames, the animatronics have buttons, and they only have buttons in the withered versions. So, doesn't it make more sense that they're found all broken up, and then they get refurbished into the designs you see in FNAF 1, and at the same time, seal away Springtrap in the hole, in the safe room. Anyways, sometime in the 90s, the FNAF 1 game takes place. Okay, massive time jump right here. In 2022, sister location takes place. Wow, this doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to happen around FNAF 2. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I can't accept the fact that Aaron is supposedly just fucking around for like 30 years. So, and honestly, Michael's speech about, hey, Daddy, I'm gonna come find you, and then not having that happen for like 30 years is a bit silly. So, yeah, it happens like a year-ish, or maybe a few months before FNAF 3. Okay, so in 2023, FNAF 3 happens. The survival logbook doesn't have Springtrap in it. It has a Nightmare animatronics, but those were dreams. You see, Michael and his brother both had the same dreams. Why? Because they're psychically linked. And I'm not going to explain this further because this is a series about, ghosts. So, fuck you. Hey, so you might be asking, when does Happiest Day happen? Well, I'll tell you. Happiest Day happens in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, yes. The souls of those first 4 animatronics do get released, and the puppet was about to go. He was, she was about to, check out and dip. Then she looked back, and she saw Afton still alive, and she was like, I'm getting too old for this crud. Remember, by this point, Charlie's like 40. Unfortunately, because of the puppet's lack of, ability to, really physically interact with things and destroy Afton itself, it just, Afton gets away, which sets up the events of FNAF 6 in a simple way that is a bit more believable than a 30-year gap where Ender just messes around in the sewers for a while. So, later in 2023 or early 2024, I don't know. Point is, FNAF 6 happens, and then after that, Ultimate Custom Night happens. And no, the voice lines in Ultimate Custom Night aren't canon because that's just Golden Freddy making shit up. Listen, I refuse to believe that the Nightmare animatronics were ever real. How would anyone have the time or resources to make that? For what reason? So, okay, so here's the part where I am not really educated on the timeline here because, well, forgive me for not caring about Help Wanted, but I'm pretty sure it happened sometime in like the 2030s, and then in like 2035, Security Breach happens, or maybe Security Breach happens a little bit early. I don't really know, and I don't care because Security Breach is not a complete game, and the lore in that game is fucking bad. It's just bad. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the new characters. I think Glamrock Freddy is one of the more disgusting ones. I don't like looking at his face. It makes me uncomfortable. All right, I do think that it's a solid thing. I'm okay with it existing, but damn if that lore isn't really stupid. It's just a bunch of characters who have no names, and then characters who might be lying, and then implying that robot children exist, and then implying that illusion discs are a thing. All like Security Breach took like all the dumbest ideas from the history of FNAF, and then just decided to throw them all at the wall to see what sticks. Now you may be thinking, damn, this guy is pretty smart and cool. What does he think about Midnight Motorist? And to that I say, Midnight Motorist was Scott fucking with you. It's the Mr. Hippo before Mr. Hippo. You see, it's a play on how none of the characters in the minigames typically have names. We called Afton Purple Guy for like years, and that's the joke. The joke is that theorists will, bend over backwards to make things up about something that ultimately didn't really say anything. Nothing happened in Midnight Motorist, but people were like, "What's going on? I need answers. This is illogical. Toy Street animatronics, watch." None of it mattered.